Which GTA communities held up the best and which ones got hit the hardest during this housing downturn? Today, let's look at the biggest winners and losers since the market peak and, more importantly, the reasons behind them. From February 2022 to April 2026, the average home price across the GTA dropped from 1.33 million to about 1.05 million, a decline of roughly 21%. But the impact varied dramatically. King was down 48%, Brampton fell 36%, East Gwillimbury dropped 35%. Meanwhile, the city of Toronto only declined by about 9%. So why such a huge difference? The hardest hit areas were mostly outer suburbs and newer communities. During the pandemic, working from home completely changed the buyer behavior. People started asking themselves, if I don't have to commute every day, why not buy a bigger house, a bigger lot, and pay less money? That drove huge demand into places like Georgina, King, and Brampton. In fact, research from the Bank of Canada confirmed that suburb prices rose much faster than prices in Toronto itself during the pandemic. A lot of that growth was supported by the work-from-home boom. So why did these areas fall first? The first reason is obvious. People had to go back to the office. As companies gradually brought employees back, long commutes became difficult to sustain. I even had clients who sold their Markham townhome during the pandemic and moved to a double garage detached home in Georgina. Once they were asked to return to their downtown Toronto office, they eventually had to move back closer to the city. The second reason is infrastructure. Many newer communities simply weren't fully built out yet. Schools, hospitals, shopping, and other daily necessities were still catching up. During lockdown, people stayed home anyway, so it didn't seem like a big issue. But once normal life returned, those shortcomings became much more obvious. The third reason is something many people overlook: investors. Many outer skirts attracted speculators and pre-construction investors during the boom years. When interest rates rose, carrying costs increased dramatically, and many investors could no longer hold on. That created domino effect. The more people tried to sell at the same time, the faster prices fell. Meanwhile, mature central communities are supported by end-user families who actually live there. They are usually under much less pressure to sell. The fourth reason is probably the most fundamental: land. In many outer skirts, developers can continue building as long as land is available. But in mature neighborhoods closer to the city, land is naturally limited, and that scarcity helps support prices. This also explains why communities that are popular among many Asian families, such as Oakville, Markham, and Vaughan, have held up much better than surrounding areas. Their value has been built over many years. Strong schools, mature amenities, stable neighborhoods, established communities, and consistent long-term demand. The people living there are often putting down roots, not simply chasing short-term gains. So the takeaway is actually very simple. The stronger the real end-user demand, the more resilient a community tends to be. The more market depends on hype, speculation, and future expectations, the harder it can fall when conditions change. I'm Prishan, the GTA Realtor for all your first-time moves. See you next time.